Okay, let's unpack this. Picture launching your dream business, not in some quiet corner, but right in the pulsating heart of global commerce in the United Arab Emirates. It's the land where ambition meets dizzying opportunity, a real magnet for entrepreneurs and, titans of industry alike. But for all its allure, navigating this landscape can feel a bit like exploring an unfamiliar city without a guide, maybe even without a map sometimes. Today, our core mission in this deep dive is to equip you with the essential guidance and comprehensive support needed for businesses looking to establish, operate, and truly ensure compliance within the UAE's unique regulatory environment. Because let's be honest, while the UAE presents immense opportunities, its regulatory intricacies can seem incredibly daunting without expert navigation. It's like having that treasure map we talked about, maybe, but realizing it's written a complex script you don't quite understand yet. Our source material today offers a fascinating look into the comprehensive support system designed to help businesses build a solid foundation. From the very first spark of an idea all the way through to sustainable long-term growth. It details a specialized profile of services tailored for entrepreneurs and established companies in the UAE, laying out what looks like a clear, navigable roadmap for success.
Yeah, what's truly fascinating here is how this expert outlines a truly holistic approach. It's not just about getting your foot in the door, is it? It's about setting up for the long haul, for thriving, not just, surviving. Our mission for you today is to break down these crucial areas. We want you to understand not just what services are offered, but why they are absolutely vital for success in the UAE. We're going to dive into the tangible benefits and, frankly, the potential pitfalls, too. By the end of this deep dive, you're going to have some genuine aha moments, I think, about how these seemingly complex, disparate elements fit together, how they create a robust, resilient business ecosystem, specifically within the dynamic context of the UAE.
So, diving right into the heart of it, the source material opens by stating, I specialize in helping businesses establish, operate, and stay compliant in the UAE's dynamic regulatory environment. That phrase, dynamic regulatory environment, it really jumps out, doesn't it? Feels like the foundational concept we need to fully grasp first. When we talk about dynamic, what does that truly imply for a business operating here? I mean, practically speaking, it suggests constant, often rapid change, evolution, a landscape that's always shifting underfoot. We're not talking about a static rule book set in stone. It sounds more like a living, breathing system. This constant movement means new opportunities can emerge frequently, right? But crucially, it also means new requirements that demand, well, vigilant attention and rapid adaptation. It's like building on sand if you don't understand the tides, maybe.
Indeed. Yeah, that's a good analogy. We connect this to the bigger picture. A dynamic environment means that what worked perfectly yesterday might not work today. Or at least it might need significant, often immediate adjustments. This raises an important question for any business. How do you keep pace? The dynamism in the UAE stems directly from its ambitious vision, to be a leading global hub. We see it in the rapid introduction of new industries, think AI, advanced manufacturing. We see it in the quick adoption of international standards to maintain global competitiveness, and the continuous launch of government initiatives aimed at fostering specific sectors or attracting foreign direct investment, FDI. For instance, the recent shifts towards 100% foreign ownership in many mainland sectors, that was huge, or the introduction of corporate tax. These are prime examples of this dynamism. They completely reshape the operational landscape in a relatively short period.
Okay, and then there's the regulatory environment part. This isn't just a vague umbrella term, is it? It feels more specific. What exactly does it encompass in a place like the UAE, and why is understanding it so critical from day one?
You're right, it's far from vague. It encompasses all the specific laws, decrees, rules, guidelines, compliance frameworks, basically everything that rigorously governs how businesses must operate there. Think of it as the intricate network of legal and administrative requirements that touch every single aspect of your business. This dictates everything from the fundamental legal structure of your company, who can own it, yet how taxes are filed, how employees are managed under the labor law, how financial transactions are reported, even how intellectual property is protected. A misstep in any of these areas, well, it can have severe consequences. We're talking hefty fines, maybe even forced liquidation.
Right. So imagine you've got a fantastic business idea, let's say, for a groundbreaking AI startup, or maybe an innovative e-commerce platform. You're passionate, you're funded, maybe, but you're completely new to the UAE. You're not sure where to even begin with the paperwork, what type of license you need, or maybe which free zone would best suit your specific model. Without truly understanding this dynamic regulatory environment, you'd be operating completely blind, wouldn't you? Prone to critical errors that could jeopardize your entire venture. That's precisely where this kind of specialized expertise becomes invaluable. It's about translating that dynamism into a clear, actionable roadmap and making sure compliance isn't an afterthought but a foundational principle right from the start. Moving on, the source further emphasizes its core purpose, supporting entrepreneurs and companies in building a solid foundation from day one to sustainable growth. This isn't just about the initial sprint to get started, is it? It's about laying the groundwork for enduring success.
Absolutely. And that phrase, from day one, it's critical. It implies a fundamentally proactive approach, ensuring that compliance and proper structuring aren't just checked off a list after the fact, but are meticulously integrated into the very fabric of the business from its inception. A solid foundation in a business context here entails several pillars. Legal soundness, definitely. Financial robustness, operational efficiency, and of course, unwavering regulatory adherence. It's not just about opening your doors. It's about opening them correctly, securely, and with a meticulously planned path forward. Starting strong, with all your ducks in a row, is the most effective way to prevent costly issues, unforeseen delays, and frankly, painful backtracking down the line. A poorly constructed foundation. It can lead to immediate operational hurdles and significant future legal liabilities.
And sustainable growth is the ultimate goal for any ambitious business, isn't it? That's what everyone's aiming for. But how exactly does having this meticulously built solid foundation combined with continuous compliance genuinely contribute to that long-term viability and expansion? It sounds like it goes far beyond just simply avoiding fines. Is there maybe a subtle competitive edge gained by getting this right from day one that many businesses overlook?
That's a crucial distinction, and the answer is a resounding yes. There absolutely is. When a business operates on a genuinely solid foundation, it inherently minimizes risks, not just of direct financial penalties, but also legal disputes, reputational damage, operational disruptions, the whole lot. Think about it. A company with robust compliance from day one projects trust and reliability. That's huge. This maximizes opportunities because it builds credibility with authorities, potential partners, and perhaps most importantly with investors. Investor confidence, for example, is profoundly impacted by a company's demonstrably robust compliance framework and sound legal structure. They look for clarity, security, and minimized risk. That's what they do. So a well-structured, compliant business is inherently more attractive for investment and partnerships. It just is. Conversely, what happens if that foundation isn't solid? What's the downside? You face not just direct financial penalties, which can be substantial. I mean, we're talking about fines that can run into hundreds of thousands of dirhams easily, or even daily penalties for non-compliance, like for economic substance regulations. But you also risk severe reputational damage, which can be far more costly in the long run. Trust is hard to rebuild. There could be operational disruptions, and in extreme cases, outright business failure or even blacklisting from future business activities in the UAE. So this isn't merely about ticking boxes. It's fundamentally about business longevity. It's about attracting strategic partners, securing funding, and having the ability to truly expand and thrive in a competitive, globally scrutinized market. It's your long-term insurance policy, really.
Okay, so we've laid the intellectual groundwork. We understand the dynamic environment and the importance of that solid foundation. Now let's shift gears and talk about the actual mechanics. What does it take to physically establish your presence and legally begin operations in the UAE? Our source material highlights business setup and licensing, mainland, free zone, offshore, as the crucial first step. This immediately tells you that the initial setup isn't a simple one-size-fits-all situation in the UAE. There are choices. Why is business setup and licensing so foundational, and what are the primary distinctions between these options, mainland, free zone, and offshore? Why is the choice so critical for an entrepreneur?
Well, it's your absolute legal gateway. Simple as that. Without the correct license, a business simply cannot operate legally within the UAE, full stop. Operating without a valid license. That can lead to immediate operational halts, significant daily fines. We could be talking upwards of AED, 10,000 per day in some cases, and even blacklisting from future business activities. It's not something you can sort of catch up later on. It's a foundational prerequisite that dictates everything from your ability to lease an office space to opening a corporate bank account. Now, regarding the distinctions, you're right, they're important. Each option caters to very specific business needs and strategic goals. Let's break them down a bit. Mainland companies. These are typically licensed by the Department of Economic Development, or DED, in each emirate. Historically, they required local sponsors or partners, but recent reforms, as I mentioned, have significantly opened up over 1,000 commercial and industrial activities for 100% foreign ownership now. The key advantage of a mainland setup is direct access to the wider local UAE market. You can conduct business anywhere in the country without restrictions. So for a retail operation, maybe a construction company or a consulting firm aiming to serve the local government and private sector, Mainland is often the preferred logical choice. Then you have free zones. The UAE boasts, what, over 45 free zones now? Each often specializing in specific industries like Dubai Internet City for tech, DMCC for commodities trading, Dubai Media City for media and creative industries. The primary advantages here are usually 100% foreign ownership, full repatriation of profits and capital, often zero corporate and personal income taxes for a specific period, which is usually renewable, and generally simplified incorporation procedures. Sounds great, right? However, there's usually a catch. Free zone companies typically cannot conduct business directly on the UAE mainland unless they work through a local distributor or maybe a mainland agent. There are ways, but it's not direct. They're designed more for businesses focusing on international trade, services, or operating within those specific industry clusters. And finally, offshore entities. These are typically registered in specific offshore jurisdictions within the UAE, like Arak Offshore or Jafza Offshore. These are primarily used for international business activities, asset protection, setting up holding companies, or perhaps wealth management. An offshore company doesn't have a physical presence in the UAE and cannot conduct business within the UAE itself. That's key. They're often chosen for tax efficiency on international income and sometimes enhanced privacy regarding ultimate beneficial ownership, but without the operational footprint of a mainland or free zone entity. Different purpose entirely.
Okay, it's really clear these options, mainland, free zone, offshore, they aren't arbitrary at all. They serve very different strategic purposes. But for an entrepreneur faced with these choices, it can definitely feel like navigating a maze. What's the biggest misconception or maybe a common mistake you see businesses make when deciding where to establish themselves in the UAE? Like maybe thinking one option is inherently better for everyone.
That's an excellent question, and it's precisely where expert guidance becomes, well, indispensable. The biggest misconception is often believing that a free zone is always the cheapest or easiest option, simply because of the 100% foreign ownership and the tax benefits. While those benefits are absolutely real, many businesses fail to fully understand the fundamental limitation, that direct mainland market access issue. We've seen countless companies set up in a free zone, only to realize later that their core business model actually requires them to sell directly to customers in Dubai or Abu Dhabi, and that then forces them into a costly and time-consuming restructuring, or maybe needing a separate mainland entity anyway. Duplication of effort and cost. So a retail operation, for example, will almost certainly require direct engagement with the local market, making a mainland setup often more suitable despite potentially higher initial costs. Conversely, a consultancy firm primarily serving international clients. A free zone might offer the ideal balance of incentives and operational ease for them. The best choice is always the one that perfectly aligns with your specific business model, your target market, and your long-term strategic goals, not just the perceived immediate benefits or the headline features.
Right. That makes perfect sense. Tailoring is key. Okay, so once that foundational setup is underway, businesses need to get down to actual operations, day-to-day stuff. The source highlights several essential operational support services: PRO services, visa processing, and UAE labor law, and also bank account opening.
Right.
These seem less glamorous, maybe, than the strategic choices, but sound just as vital for day-to-day functionality.
Oh, absolutely vital. These truly are the gears that make the entire machine run smoothly. Without them, your business simply can't function effectively. Let's take PRO services. First stands for Public Relations Officer Services. These are fundamental in the UAE. Think of a PRO as your dedicated liaison with all the government departments. They're the ones queuing up, submitting paperwork. They manage everything from applying for trade licenses and permits, processing visa applications for your staff, attesting documents from various ministries, to ensuring all your company documents like your trade license are renewed on time. Crucial. Without effective PRO services, simple bureaucratic tasks can become major roadblocks, consuming valuable time, draining resources, and leading to missed deadlines or even fines due to non-compliance with renewals. They essentially navigate that administrative labyrinth for you. Then there's visa processing. This is absolutely critical for your entire workforce, your employees, investors, and even their families. The ability for individuals to legally reside and work in the UAE is non-negotiable for any business operation. You can't hire people who can't legally be here. This involves managing everything from entry permits, change of status applications, medical fitness tests, getting the Emirates ID cards, and the final visa stamping in the passport. Any delays or errors here can bring operations to a grinding halt, especially if key personnel are unable to enter or remain in the country. And hand in hand with visas is understanding and meticulous adherence to UAE labor law. It's a comprehensive framework covering everything from employment contracts, working hours, leave policies, end-of-service benefits calculation, and grievance procedures. Strict compliance is essential for avoiding disputes, ensuring fair working conditions, and maintaining a compliant and productive workforce. All key for smooth operation and a positive work environment. And finally, bank account opening. This raises an important question. You simply cannot operate a legitimate business in the UAE without a corporate bank account, can you? It's fundamental. It's not just a formality, it's a fundamental hurdle and an essential operational element for managing finances, paying suppliers, receiving payments from clients, processing payroll, everything. The process can be surprisingly complex, especially for foreign entities or new companies. Banks here have stringent due diligence, know your customer (KYC) requirements, and need extensive documentation. Without expert guidance here, businesses can face significant delays, weeks, even months sometimes, or even outright rejections, making it impossible to conduct basic financial transactions, thus directly hindering their ability to function effectively from day one. We've seen businesses really struggle trying to open accounts without the right support and preparation.
Wow, so these aren't just mere administrative tasks then, are they? They sound like critical operational components that can truly make or break a company's ability to actually function in the UAE. It sounds like without these being handled seamlessly and compliantly, that dream of sustainable growth we talked about could be completely derailed before it even properly begins.
Absolutely, that's exactly right. A smooth, efficient process for these operational elements directly contributes to sustainable growth by removing significant, often unexpected obstacles. Imagine the immense cost, the stress, the lost opportunity if your key personnel can't get their visas approved on time, or if your company can't process payments for goods and services rendered because the bank account isn't open yet. These administrative headaches can quickly escalate into major business problems, diverting management attention from core business development, from innovation, from sales. These support services essentially transform potential bureaucratic nightmares into streamlined processes, allowing businesses like yours to focus energy and resources on core activities, innovation, and expansion rather than getting bogged down in red tape. They're the operational bedrock that enables genuine, uninterrupted growth, ensuring you're not just ticking boxes, but building a fully functioning, compliant enterprise from the ground up. Hashtag 3. Navigating financial and regulatory complexities for continuous compliance.
Okay, so businesses are established, operations are running, but the financial and regulatory complexities, they don't stop there, do they? They only seem to deepen. The source highlights services like corporate tax, VAT advisory and return filing, and also accounting, bookkeeping, and cloud-based ERP systems. This is where things can get truly intricate, I imagine, especially for those who maybe remember the UAE primarily as a tax-free haven in the past. That's changed.
Indeed, it has. The landscape of taxation in the UAE has undergone a significant and relatively rapid evolution. While it was traditionally known for its absence of corporate or personal income tax, that has fundamentally changed. You're right. The UAE introduced VAT, value-added tax, back in 2018 as part of a wider GCC initiative. And more recently, in June 2023, corporate tax was introduced across the board. This directly speaks to that dynamic regulatory environment we discussed earlier. It demonstrates a clear commitment to international standards and diversifying government revenue streams beyond oil. Now, businesses absolutely need comprehensive guidance, not just on understanding these new tax regimes like what constitutes a taxable supply for VAT, or what income is subject to corporate tax, but also on their precise application, calculation, and meticulous filing requirements. The distinction between advisory, really comprehending the rules and their specific impact on your business model, and actual return filing, ensuring accurate, timely submission to avoid penalties, is crucial. You need both. Non-compliance here leads to severe financial penalties. They can run into the millions of dirhams for serious offenses, potentially crippling a business, and it can severely impact a business's financial health and reputation. For example, late VAT filing. That can incur significant fines per return, and they compound rapidly.
Right. And beyond just that external tax compliance piece, the source also lists accounting, bookkeeping, and cloud-based ERP systems. It seems like these services go beyond mere regulatory necessity. What's their deeper significance for a business that's aiming for that sustainable growth?
That's right. These services are not merely about external compliance for tax purposes. They are absolutely vital for internal financial health, operational transparency, and ultimately for strategic decision-making. Good accounting and meticulous bookkeeping provide a clear, real-time picture of a company's financial standing. We're talking cash flow, profitability, liabilities. This isn't just a luxury. It's essential for building a solid foundation. Because without accurate financials, a business is essentially operating in the dark. You can't steer a ship without a compass. You can't make informed decisions about investment, about expansion, or even about necessary cost-cutting without this data. They provide the crucial insights necessary for understanding and truly managing sustainable growth, not just hoping for it. And here's where it gets really interesting, I think. Integrating cloud-based ERP systems, that's enterprise resource planning, takes us to a whole new level. Think of an ERP system as a central nervous system for your entire business. It connects everything. It integrates all your core processes from finance and accounting, HR, payroll, sales, CRM, procurement, inventory, even supply chain management into a single, unified software platform. When it's cloud-based, it means you can access and manage all this critical data securely from anywhere, anytime. No need for expensive on-premise servers. And it gives you real-time, consolidated insights into every facet of your operations. A single source of truth. This isn't just about digitizing old processes. It's about leveraging technology for unparalleled efficiency, automation, scalability, and deeper analytical insights. These are the absolute cornerstones for sustainable growth in today's fast-paced, data-driven environment. It's the engine room of a modern, efficient enterprise.
That's a powerful analogy.
Yep.
Yeah, like keeping your car well-tuned. Good accounting is the regular maintenance that prevents breakdowns, keeps you moving forward. While those cloud-based ERP systems are like upgrading to a high-performance engine with real-time diagnostics, giving you that 360-degree view of your vehicle's health and performance, you wouldn't want to drive cross-country without them, right? I actually heard a story once about a startup here that scaled incredibly rapidly, but kind of neglected their internal accounting until they suddenly hit a wall. They were trying to secure their next round of funding, and their financials were just a mess. Couldn't get the investment. It really underlines how these less glamorous aspects can truly make or break your ability to seize those crucial growth opportunities. Okay, then we have a crucial and frankly somewhat intimidating looking set of compliance services. AML-CFT, ESR, FATCA, and UBO compliance. Just the acronyms alone can make a business owner's head spin, I imagine, but they sound incredibly important for navigating the global financial landscape today.
They certainly can seem daunting at first glance, yeah. But conceptually, they represent the UAE's strong and evolving commitment to global financial transparency, integrity, and combating illicit activities. It's about being a good global citizen, essentially. Let's briefly break them down just to understand their collective purpose and why they're non-negotiable for businesses operating here. AML-CFT, that stands for Anti-Money Laundering and Combating the Financing of Terrorism. This is a global effort, really, to prevent illegal financial flows like proceeds from crime or funding for terrorism from moving through legitimate financial systems. For businesses in the UAE, especially those in financial services, real estate, precious metals trading, or even legal and accounting services, they're known as Designated Non-Financial Businesses and Professions, or DNFBPs. It means implementing robust Know Your Customer (KYC) procedures, transaction monitoring, and suspicious activity reporting to the Financial Intelligence Unit (FIU). Very serious stuff. Next, ESR, that refers to Economic Substance Regulations. These were introduced largely in response to international concerns about entities having no real economic activity in a jurisdiction where they're registered. Shell companies, basically. ESR ensures that companies registered in the UAE are actually conducting genuine economic activity that aligns with their registered presence. If your business engages in certain relevant activities, things like holding company business, shipping, intellectual property business, banking, you must demonstrate adequate substance in the UAE. That means having sufficient employees, physical assets, and expenditure within the country related to that activity. Non-compliance here. Big fines and potentially other regulatory action. Then FATCA, the Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act. Now, this is technically a U.S. regulation, but its impact is truly global. It reshaped financial transparency worldwide. For any UAE-based financial institution, bank, or even certain investment firms dealing with U.S. citizens or residents, FCA mandates extensive reporting on their financial accounts. It's essentially a global data sharing mechanism designed to prevent offshore tax evasion by U.S. persons. For businesses affected, this translates into stringent KYC processes to identify U.S. persons and robust internal systems to collect and transmit the sensitive data securely to the relevant tax authorities, often via the UAE Central Bank, which then liaises with the IRS. Non-compliance here isn't just a local fine. It can result in significant withholding taxes on U.S.-sourced income and even loss of crucial correspondent banking relationships. Big implications. And finally, UBO. This refers to Ultimate Beneficial Ownership Regulations. Very important. These require companies to identify and disclose who truly owns and ultimately controls them. No more hiding behind complex structures. This enhances transparency, helps combat money laundering and terrorist financing, and ensures that authorities know who is ultimately benefiting from the company's activities. So these specific areas are vital for staying compliant because they directly address critical international financial integrity and transparency requirements. By diligently adhering to these, the UAE enhances its reputation as an attractive, trusted, and legitimate business hub on the global stage. The risks of noncompliance, they're severe. FT fines, yes, but also irreparable reputational damage that can linger for years. Operational restrictions, even potential blacklisting by international financial institutions. Failing to meet these obligations directly undermines that solid foundation we talked about earlier. It exposes the business to significant vulnerabilities and jeopardizes its ability to engage in global commerce effectively.
Right. So these regulations aren't just about local rules then, are they? They're very much about the UAE's role on the global financial stage, essentially ensuring it remains a reputable and trustworthy player in international commerce, which in turn builds investor confidence on a truly global scale.
Precisely. That's exactly it. Compliance with these global standards is a mark of trustworthiness and integrity in the international business community. It allows the UAE to participate fully in global financial systems and, crucially, attracts legitimate, high-quality businesses that are seeking a secure and well-regulated environment. It's about maintaining a robust financial ecosystem that actively deters illicit activities and fosters legitimate investment. This ensures that the UAE remains a preferred destination for global capital and top talent. This commitment to international best practices means that businesses operating here can confidently engage with partners, clients, and banks worldwide, knowing they meet the highest standards of financial probity. It's a seal of approval, almost. Hashtag tag 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 IV. Strategic growth and advanced advisory for long-term success.
Okay, so moving beyond just getting set up correctly and staying compliant day to day, the source material also highlights services geared towards more strategic growth and long-term success. Things like business valuation and CFO services, and also ICV and ISO certification advisory. This really sounds like moving from, simply surviving to strategically thriving in what is undoubtedly a competitive environment.
That's precisely right. This marks a significant shift. We're moving from foundational setup and daily compliance to strategic financial management and gaining a measurable competitive advantage. Business valuations and CFO services are a prime example of this strategic level. Knowing a business's accurate valuation is absolutely crucial for various strategic moves. Maybe you're looking to attract new investors, planning for mergers and acquisitions, facilitating a shareholder buyout, or even crafting an eventual lucrative exit strategy down the line. A precise valuation gives you leverage and clarity in those high-stakes negotiations. It's fundamental. And CFO services. This provides access to high-level financial strategy and guidance without the often significant cost of hiring a full-time in-house chief financial officer. This is particularly valuable for growing companies or SMEs that need that strategic oversight, but maybe aren't ready for a full-time exec. This might involve strategic financial planning, budgeting, forecasting, cash flow management, investor relations support, maybe even preparing for an IPO eventually. This directly supports sustainable growth by providing expert financial oversight and strategic planning. It guides the company's financial trajectory with the foresight of an experienced executive, ensuring resources are allocated efficiently and growth is managed proactively, not reactively. Then we have ICV and ISO certification advisory. Let's start with ICV. ICV stands for In-Country Value. It implies a national program designed to boost local economic contribution, drive localization. This initiative, primarily driven initially by ADNOC, the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company, but now adopted much more widely across various government and semi-government entities. It encourages companies operating here to increase their local expenditure on goods, services, and crucially, human capital development. Achieving ICV certification can offer significant competitive advantages. It can potentially grant certified suppliers priority access to government and large corporate tenders, especially in key sectors like energy, infrastructure, manufacturing, and defense. It's a powerful lever for businesses looking to secure large-scale contracts and truly integrate into the UAE's economic fabric. It directly ties into delivering results that matter for the local economy as well as the company. As for ISO certification, this refers to achieving internationally recognized quality management standards. Things like ISO 9001 for quality management systems, or maybe ISO 27001 for information security management, which is huge now. If we connect this to the bigger picture, ISO certification is like a global passport for quality and operational excellence. It really is. It signifies a demonstrable commitment to internationally recognized best practices. This enhances credibility, facilitates market access, as many international tenders require it, and drives internal operational efficiency through standardized processes. It's a powerful tool for building trust with clients, partners, and even regulatory bodies worldwide. It often leads to increased customer satisfaction and significantly improved internal processes. It's a mark of maturity and reliability for any serious business operating on a global stage.
Right. So this isn't just about staying afloat or avoiding the pitfalls, then. Not at all. This is about actively seeking out ways to grow, to enhance your reputation globally, and to systematically attract more business through strategic positioning and, importantly, validated excellence. It's about taking proactive steps to gain a serious edge in what is, let's face it, an intensely competitive market out there. Okay, and finally, within the strategic growth section, we see investment structuring and FDI support, legal, regulatory, and IP advisory, and also golden visa advisory. These really speak to bringing in vital capital, protecting your most valuable intangible assets, and securing top talent for the long term, don't they?
These are indeed critical pillars of long-term strategic success and resilience. Absolutely. Investment structuring and FDI support. This is about more than just finding investors, though that's part of it. It's about meticulously structuring the business itself in a way that is most attractive to foreign direct investment, FDI, and then expertly navigating the complex legal and regulatory aspects of actually bringing that capital into the UAE compliantly. This involves understanding capital repatriation rules, the different ownership structures available for foreign investors now, and ensuring full compliance with local investment laws. It's fundamental for securing the necessary funding to fuel that sustainable growth and significant expansion. It ensures that the inflow of capital is seamless and compliant, which is vital for both the investors putting money in and the recipient business. Then there's legal, regulatory, and IP advisory. This ensures ongoing legal counsel far beyond just the initial setup phase. Business doesn't stand still. As a business evolves, it faces new challenges constantly. Negotiating new contracts, handling potential disputes, adapting to evolving regulations, and crucially, safeguarding its innovations. Continuous legal guidance is critical for staying compliant and proactively protecting the business's interests across the board. And the source specifically mentions intellectual property, IP advisory, which is just paramount in a competitive market like the UAE. This involves protecting your trademarks for your brand identity, patents for your unique inventions, and copyrights for your creative works or software code. In today's knowledge-based economy, a company's IP can often be its most valuable asset. Robust protection ensures that your innovations and brand identity are secure from infringement, preserving your unique value proposition and competitive edge. Without it, your unique ideas could be vulnerable, easily copied. And finally, Golden Visa Advisory. This relates to a really strategic initiative by the UAE government launched back in 2019. It's designed to attract and, importantly, retain long-term talent, investors, entrepreneurs, and highly skilled professionals in the country. For businesses, it translates into a powerful tool for securing key human capital founders, senior executives, exceptionally skilled R&D professionals, even top medical doctors or scientists. It offers them long-term residency and stability, which is a huge draw. This directly contributes to sustainable growth by ensuring continuity of leadership, retaining critical expertise within the company, and attracting talent from global pools who might otherwise hesitate about relocating. For individuals, the Golden Visa offers either 5-year or 10-year renewable residency. This enhances their long-term stability and quality of life in the UAE, which in turn makes the UAE a more attractive place for top talent to really establish roots, knowing they have long-term prospects here for themselves and their families.
Wow. So these services really speak to the long-term vision, don't they? Ensuring a company isn't just surviving day to day, but is strategically positioning itself for significant growth and stability. Actively attracting the right people and the right capital to achieve truly ambitious goals. It truly sounds like a comprehensive ecosystem of support, covering pretty much every imaginable base from start to, well, potentially very big success.
That's precisely it. They collectively create an environment where businesses can not only establish themselves securely and compliantly, but also actively leverage strategic advantages, attract significant capital, secure top-tier talent for the long haul, and protect their vital innovations. This comprehensive approach is just crucial for sustained success and fostering innovation in a highly competitive global marketplace like the UAE. It's about building a fortress, maybe around your aspirations, ensuring longevity and continued prosperity.
It's interesting that the very last core service listed in our source material is company liquidation. Often our focus is entirely on starting and growing the exciting phases of business. But planning for the end, even if it's a successful acquisition or merger or just winding down, that's just as crucial, isn't it? Seems often overlooked. Why is company liquidation considered a core service for a firm that focuses so much on sustainable growth? It seems almost counterintuitive at first glance, like planning the finish line before you've even properly started the race.
Yeah, that raises an excellent and often overlooked question. Why is an exit strategy like liquidation considered a core service for a firm focused on sustainable growth? It does seem odd initially. The answer really lies in the concept of a complete business life cycle. No business runs forever in its original form. That's just reality. Even highly successful ventures may eventually need to be dissolved. Perhaps they're merged with another entity, maybe acquired by a bigger player, or formally concluded for various strategic reasons, retirement of the founder, a change of focus, or even just the natural end of a specific project or venture. Just as important as setting up correctly, liquidating a company compliantly ensures there are absolutely no lingering liabilities left behind. It ensures proper closure of all financial and legal records and strict adherence to all the legal requirements from federal and local authorities. It's a formal process. Poorly managed or non-compliant liquidation that can lead to significant future problems for the founders, the directors, or even parent companies involved. We've genuinely seen cases where founders were personally held liable for outstanding company debts or government fines years after they thought their company was closed and buried, simply because the proper liquidation process wasn't correctly followed step by step. It can result in unforeseen liabilities popping up later, costly legal challenges, serious damage to one's professional reputation, and even blacklisting that prevents future business endeavors in the UAE or wider region. Therefore, guiding a business through a compliant, efficient, and clean liquidation process is crucial. It ensures a responsible, reputable, and legally sound end to that specific business journey, allowing the entrepreneurs involved to move on to their future endeavors without any historical baggage or hidden legal entanglements following them. It truly completes the business life cycle responsibly and protects their future opportunities.
That makes a lot of sense. It's almost like knowing how to finish a marathon cleanly, even if you hope to run many more races in the future. You want to cross that finish line properly without any last-minute stumbles or worse, hidden penalties that come back to haunt you years later.
Exactly. A clean exit protects the legacy of the business, safeguards the reputation and financial integrity of its owners and directors, and ensures all obligations are fully met and all records are properly closed according to the law. It's about minimizing future risks, even to the point of cessation, making sure the end is as well managed and compliant as the beginning and the middle were. It's peace of mind, ultimately, allowing you to close one chapter cleanly before confidently opening the next one.
Okay, we've covered an incredible array of services, haven't we? From the very initial setup to even the most strategic, well-planned exit. Finally, the source material wraps up with a powerful statement about the expert's overarching approach. I bring a solutions-driven mindset, up-to-date regulatory knowledge, and a commitment to delivering results that matter. This really speaks to the philosophy, the how, behind delivering all these critical services effectively. Let's break down that solutions-driven mindset first. What does that truly mean for a client, for you engaging with this kind of expertise in a complex market like the UAE? What does it feel like?
Well, for a client, a solutions-driven mindset means the focus isn't just on identifying problems or pointing out compliance gaps, frankly. Anyone can do that. It's table stakes. It's about actively finding practical, efficient, and tailored ways to solve those challenges. That's the key difference. It implies proactivity, anticipating potential issues before they become critical problems and offering clear, actionable pathways to overcome them. It's about truly understanding the client's specific business objectives and working collaboratively to achieve them, making the path forward clear and achievable, even amidst all the complexity. So if a client comes with a specific challenge, say structuring an investment or navigating a new regulation, the approach isn't just to explain the rule book. It's to strategize how to comply effectively while minimizing business disruption, or maybe even maximizing a hidden opportunity within that rule. It's about turning potential obstacles into stepping stones towards their goal.
Right. And how absolutely crucial is up-to-date regulatory knowledge in a dynamic regulatory environment like the UAE? You've touched on this, but it bears repeating. It sounds like relying on outdated information could be not just unhelpful, but actively detrimental, leading you down the wrong path entirely.
It is, without any exaggeration, absolutely non-negotiable, foundational. In a fast-changing landscape like the UAE, old knowledge is not just unhelpful, It can be actively detrimental. It can lead to non-compliance, substantial penalties, and severely missed opportunities. It's dangerous, frankly. For instance, relying on pre-2023 tax advice for understanding the new corporate tax regime, or using outdated ownership rules for setting up a mainland company. That would lead to immediate, significant errors. Up-to-date regulatory knowledge is the singular key to staying compliant consistently. It allows you to minimize risks by proactively adapting to changes as they happen, sometimes even before they're fully implemented, and lets you truly leverage the latest opportunities that the dynamic environment presents. Maybe new visa categories that benefit your staff, or specific industry incentives you weren't aware of. It means your advisor isn't just reciting facts from a textbook they read a few years ago. It means they are actively tracking legislative changes, understanding new decrees as they are issued by various authorities, and interpreting their practical applications in real time for your specific business situation. It's continuous learning.
That's a fantastic point. It really is like having a guide who not only knows the map intimately, but also keeps track of every new road closure announced yesterday, every new shortcut that just opened up, every unexpected construction zone, ensuring you always take the most efficient, safest, and most compliant route to your destination. It's the difference between navigating with an old, dog-eared atlas versus using real-time GPS with live traffic updates, worlds apart. And finally, that last piece, a commitment to delivering results that matter. This seems to be the overarching promise that encapsulates everything we've discussed. What truly defines a result that matters in this incredibly comprehensive context, especially for businesses like yours looking to really thrive in the UAE?
That's a great question. In this context, a result that matters goes far beyond simply filing a document on time or obtaining a license. Those are just tasks, means to an end. It's about delivering tangible, impactful business benefits, real value. This means achieving a successful and compliant business setup that aligns perfectly with your strategic vision from day one. It means ensuring smooth and efficient ongoing operations, free from those frustrating bureaucratic hurdles we talked about. It means minimizing your risk exposure to unforeseen penalties or compliance issues down the road. It means maximizing your growth potential by helping you identify and capitalize on new opportunities as they arise. And ultimately, it's about providing deep peace of mind for you, the entrepreneur, or for the company leadership. Knowing things are handled correctly, it's about supporting profitability, ensuring long-term viability, and crucially, allowing you to focus your precious time and energy on your core business, on innovation, on serving your customers. This phrase, results that matter, implies a highly client-centric approach. Services aren't generic off-the-shelf products. They are meticulously tailored to the specific needs, the unique challenges, and the strategic goals of each individual entrepreneur or company. It connects directly back to that custom-tailored aspect of our deep dive. It's about ensuring their success becomes your success, measuring success by their achievements.
So, wrapping it all together, what does this all mean for you, the listener, looking at the vibrant yet undeniably complex UAE business landscape? It means that having access to this kind of comprehensive, proactive, and genuinely results-oriented support isn't really a luxury or an optional extra, is it? It is, quite simply, a necessity for truly building that solid foundation we discussed and for achieving genuine sustainable growth in this unique and exciting market. It's about transforming those complex challenges into clear, manageable steps and ultimately turning your business ambition into a tangible reality here. Hashtag tag outro. Well, what an illuminating deep dive that was into the intricate yet incredibly rewarding business landscape of the United Arab Emirates. We've journeyed through the sheer breadth of specialized support available for businesses, starting from the very initial strategic setup and those nuanced licensing choices, through the absolute intricacies of continuous compliance with evolving tax and financial regulations like VAT, corporate tax, AML, ESR. It's all the way to advanced strategic growth initiatives like leveraging ICB certification or the Golden Visa program, and even planning for meticulous, compliant exit strategies when the time comes. And it's all underpinned, as we heard, by deep, constantly updated regulatory knowledge and a truly solutions-driven approach that champions tangible results that actually matter to the business.
Yeah, if we connect this to the bigger picture, it profoundly underscores that strategic expert support is not just helpful, but truly paramount for navigating any truly dynamic market effectively, especially one as globally significant and rapidly evolving as the UAE is today. The source material we explored today demonstrates a comprehensive ecosystem designed to demystify that complexity and provide a clearer, more secure pathway for anyone considering entering or currently operating in the UAE market. It really shows how meticulous planning and expert guidance can transform potential hurdles into robust stepping stones for lasting success, demonstrating that preparedness isn't just about avoiding failure, but about actively engineering success from the outset.
So, a final thought for you to ponder. In a world where business is increasingly global and regulations are constantly evolving everywhere, consider how the mastery of local compliance, as meticulously demonstrated in our deep dive today based on the UAE example, isn't just about avoiding pitfalls anymore, but it's actually about unlocking entirely new avenues for global opportunity and innovation. How might understanding this level of specialized regional expertise redefine your own approach to international expansion? Could it empower you to look beyond familiar borders with newfound confidence, recognizing that true, sustainable success in any dynamic market is built on a foundation of proactive, informed, and expert guided compliance? Something to think about.